A really good museum visit makes you want to go and create. How can we have that same level of inspiration while still inside the classroom? While in school, museum visits were always just used as extra credit. And even now, while being in college, off-campus museums are still just used as extra credit. I was fortunate enough to be able to go to museums, but other students may not be as lucky. I can remember walking into the vast lobby, ready to explore, wondering and gazing at all of the beautiful things. One visit that I distinctly remember was my junior year of high school. I went to the Cincinnati Art Museum and saw the Monet exhibit. My aunt just knew that it would inspire me, and boy, did it ever. I walked in with butterflies, looking at the grand stairs, slowly walking up them with my hand on the railing, gazing at the pieces that would inspire my entire artistic journey. At that moment, I was into art, but I was not in love with it. I had never seen art and just been so ready to just run out the door and go and create like I had been, right in that moment. I went to Hobby Lobby afterwards, which was the only art store that I knew about at the time, and bought some supplies to make something once I got home. And let me tell you, that piece was not my best work, but I was inspired. Monday morning rolled around, and I was so ready to get to school, bursting at the seams beyond ecstatic. While walking into class, I realized I was the only one excited. No one understood the inspiration inside me. My creative juices were flowing, but stopped as disappointment set in. No one understood. They had not seen what I had seen, so they were unable to grasp my inspiration. Now, as a future educator, I am making it my mission to have all of my students equally inspired and to utilize museum resources while still inside my classroom or when we just can't get there. While I could go on and on explaining what I've seen in museums, it may not ever equate to the actual experience. And some of these resources may not be able to either, but they're still great resources to use when a school doesn't have it in the budget to get to the museum that year, or they're not even near a museum to do it in a one-day trip. These are great resources to use to inspire students and allow them to interact with museums in some type of way. Museums have resources galore, all of which are at our fingertips. And guess what? Most of them are free. Trunks come free after being reserved. These are like literal treasure trunks ready for you and your students. These include materials such as recreated videos, recreated pieces of work, historical documents, lesson plans, postcards, games, and so much more. And they all relate to different times in history or movements, or art movements. These are great to use for a full day's lesson. You can incorporate these into an already planned lesson or allow the students to discover these and dig into what the history they have displayed for you. Full resource units. This is like every teacher's dream. Full resource units. This is a complete kit ready for you as a teacher to use in your classroom. All you have to do is guide. These include recreated materials for your classroom, questions ready for you as well as for your students, and allows you to dig deeper into what the museum really has to offer while you're still in your classroom. For a full resource unit, you as the teacher don't have to do anything but guide. This allows you to utilize your full classroom space while incorporating the museum materials into the classroom. This allows you to help guide the students through amazing lesson plans with pre-planned questions and guide the direction of class as the teacher. Investigation lessons. These relate directly to art, but there are also historical ones out there. For the art ones, these can be great to use for the critiquing process. This allows you to teach critiquing processes to your students while not necessarily going through each other's work inside the classroom. It allows you to dig deeper and comes equipped with questions ready for your students to work through about that piece. Bringing the experience even more inside the classroom, you can have an entire time period once again at your fingertips. The London Museum allows you to experience time periods inside your classroom, to explore artifacts from the time through quizzes, lesson plans, and guide students through causes and reasonings for that time in history. This is a great resource to use when you can't always print something out. It allows you and your students to go through time periods all in one module, so these are great and easily accessible to all of your students. You can work through them together or give your students free reins and allow them to type in the website and go through it all by themselves. One resource from the Cleveland Art Museum that I wish would be used way more often than it is Art2Go. This is a great resource that can actually give you the full museum experience. Yes, you heard that right, the full museum experience while you're still in your classroom. Imagine having a museum curator bring in the actual pieces of art. They encourage observation, creative thinking, problem solving, decision making, and teamwork. They have a vast array of pieces dating back 4,000 years ago. And guess what? They let you and your students touch the pieces of work. I just think that that would have been the best and most inspirational and impactful thing in that school year, but I would still be talking about that experience today. I can't imagine being able to touch a piece of art that date back 4,000 years ago. But that's going to make me a pretty cool teacher when I do that. So come on, people, museums are not meant for extra credit. By utilizing museum resources, you can bring the actual experience and information inside your classroom and help all of your students reach that outstanding level of inspiration. Thank you.